Fox News contributor, former Speaker of the House, and my mentor, Newt Gingrich. Newt, thanks for joining us. This is such an amazing series of events. It's not a surprise to folks like us, but look at how forgiving and accommodating and collaborative President Trump is with people in the case of some of these world leaders, but also Mark Zuckerberg himself, who threw Trump off of Facebook, now known as Meta after January 6th, who got blamed for Trump's election in 2016 and then turned around and spent all those Zuckerbucks in the 2020 election. Here he is dining with President Trump, and they're trying to figure out a way to, hear Stephen Miller say it, be part of America's renewal. Walk us through it, Newt. You've seen it all, but this just feels historic every day.
Well, Kellyanne, first of all, I think the only way you can begin to understand this is to take Trump totally outside of normal American politics and recognize that he's a mythic figure. He's like some of the people who come out of the Viking sagas. I mean, here's a guy who, as you know, because you were right there, you managed his successful campaign in 16. This guy has been pounded on, had shot, taken in and to get his picture made at a sheriff's office, everything they could do for 9 years, and he's still standing. I think all of a sudden, when he won, and of course, if I can just say for a second, Kamala's video was so embarrassing. I don't know whether she was drunk, hungover, utterly confused or what, but that sort of reinforced for everybody. They spent $1.5 billion trying to beat Trump, and he's still standing. And to go one step further, a friend of mine tonight showed me his family had gotten together for Thanksgiving. They played YMCA and danced to it in terms of Trump. And instead of saying young man, they were singing Trump man. Now, this is the kind of cultural change that you see maybe twice in a century. And that's what's happening right now. You have a genuine historic leader, champion of a cause, and all around the planet, people suddenly went, oops, I guess he's real. I guess he's going to be powerful, and I guess I better find a way to deal with him. Yeah. And that's what's happening at every level.
I agree with you, Newt. I mean, you have Justin Trudeau down at Mar-a-Lago, Mark Zuckerberg. You have people in the cabinet who ran against Donald Trump for president, who called him names, et cetera. All of that goes away when you actually want to work together and get things done. Now, you know a thing or two about political revolutions and then those first 100 days. You did that in 94 and 95 as the Speaker of the House. What do you think are the 3 or 4 most important things for President Trump to attempt to do and to get done in those first 100 days of his second term?
Well, you already started tonight with the whole issue of immigration and deportation and breaking the idea of sanctuary cities. That's number one because you can go right at it on day one. The executive orders he issues will be fundamental in changing things. The big thing, the number one thing beyond everything else, can they put together a tax and regulatory package so powerful that it launches the economy for 26? Because, as you know, the key election for Trump is 26. If he can be like Franklin Roosevelt and actually pick up seats in the House instead of losing the House, now he has truly begun to establish a new system and a new coalition and a new majority. And the only way you do that is to have such dramatic economic growth in the next year and a half that people go to the ballot box saying, I want to reinforce this. This is a better future. So I would say designing a tax and regulatory package of enormous power, going to the country like Reagan did, convincing the country, so the country then convinces Congress, is the number one job after they close the border.
No, it's incredible, and it all seems doable. And as you say, there are people wanting to work with him. Newt, what do you make of the Democratic Party, the infighting, the lack of financing, I think energy for the so-called resistance now? What becomes of them the next 2 years?
Well, first of all, imagine you were one of the folks who contributed to the $1.5 billion and now learned that her own staff never once had her ahead in a poll. Now, they were lying to their donors for the entire campaign. So you're sitting here saying, do I want to invest more in this? And I think there'll be really a three-way fight. There'll be the hard left, which will be for a radically different vision of America. And as they watch Trump take that apart, they'll go crazier and crazier. There will be sort of a liberal resistance. And then there'll be a bunch of Democrats, my guess is 6 or 8 in the Senate, 30, 40, or 50 in the House, who are going to get up and say, you know, the American people have spoken. I have an obligation to work with him. Remember, as you know, when we passed welfare reform, when I was Speaker, we split the Democrats evenly, 101 to 101. When Reagan passed his big tax cut, we got 1/3 of the Democrats to vote for it. So the key is do the right thing, convince the American people it's the right thing, mobilize them, and they will drive about, I think, 20 to 30% of the Democratic Party will end up voting with Trump, making Speaker Johnson's job easier. And at the same time, it'll lead to a huge civil war in their party. And my guess is they won't recover for 12 to 16 years if we do our job right, we deliver economic growth, we deliver prosperity, we deliver a controlled border.
Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House who led the Republican Revolution in 1994 with the contract with America, gives us the blueprint for the first 100 days of the next Trump term. Newt, thank you so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.